Welcome to 312, the HRP podcast, and to this special episode recorded from the exhibit hall of the Society of American Military Engineers Small Business Conference. As always, 312 is divided into two sections: work hard, where we talk about the business, and play hard, where we get to know the people. HRP's joint venture with Thunderbird Environmental was one of hundreds of firms operating in the federal marketplace who exhibited in San Antonio, Texas at this massive conference. If you haven't heard of the conference before, I'll read the description here from the SAME SBC website. This conference brings together federal agencies and businesses operating in the federal marketplace to deliver the most comprehensive and useful market research experience possible for all attendees. Learn of and or share upcoming contracting opportunities for small businesses. Connect with teaming partners. Support the nation's contracting goals. Engage in above-board networking between private companies and federal program managers and procurement/contracting officers. More than a dozen federal agencies have participated in SBC over the last few years, including the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Naval Facilities Engineering Command, Air Force Civil Engineer Center, Department of Veterans Affairs, Veterans Health Administration, Department of Energy, General Services Administration, Department of State, Small Business Administration, Environmental Protection Agency, Federal Emergency Management Agency, and National Aeronautics and Space Administration. End quote. In between letting everyone know what amazing companies HRP and Thunderbird are, we did a series of interviews with a great group of small businesses that were in attendance. Basically, I grabbed anyone who walked by and asked them if they wanted to be on a podcast. Believe it or not, it worked. We got some great folks from a variety of businesses. So for the work hard section of this episode of 312, we will be bringing you these quick interviews, profiling each business that was kind enough to speak with us. I was also joined at this conference by Sean Malin, our Southeast Regional Manager, and Kathleen Majors, our Southeastern Sales Manager, who you'll hear and see in our Play Hard section. Now, see if you decide to join us on YouTube, because as always, Play Hard is a video section of the podcast. You can still hear the whole thing here, but why not join us on our YouTube channel, HRP Associates on YouTube, to get the full experience? Okay, let's dive in. So hi, can you tell us who you are and what your company is?
Oh, thank you. Name is Rella Warrega, company is Rella Consulting Group, and we are here today at the SAME event to reach out to some of the prime contractors and teaming partners, other small businesses, federally geared towards 8A and such, so we can team up for future projects.
That's great.
Yes, we do engineering support services, program management, and construction management.
Yeah. So what's like your main goal for attending the conference? What are you hoping to get?
Well, this is our second SAME event, so we are looking to most likely find people that we can team up with, firms that are in other areas, especially the Midwest and the East Coast, because that's where our headquarters and most of our project offices are. Yeah. And kind of expand our reach in the nation when it comes to the new infrastructure opportunities that are upcoming. Yeah. Rail, bridges, tunnels, and such, and maybe USAIC and the rest that we can work on those projects.
What do you think makes your company unique or is a standout feature?
Besides our usual certification and being woman-owned, small business, minority, our main strength is we have the kind of personnel that has 20, 30 years experience. Yeah. Our succession program is very, very handy in that. As you know, the industry is lacking in the succession of younger to older generation. So we look to do that within the company, and that has retained our personnel, and also we are attracting the younger crew through university links. We do STEM program promotions, and that brings up the interest in engineering and such, and it's worked out well for us in that area. Yeah.
Awesome. So walking around, what's the best piece of swag you've seen so far at the booths?
Well, interesting enough, you get the tumblers and the bags.
Yeah.
But currently, I went 2 doors down, and they had bats.
They had what?
Bats, B-A-T-S,
Bats? They had
yes.
bats? How do they have bats?
They're plastic bats because they do mitigation and preservation when they do take care of, things. And I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
You get the little tumblers and there's a bat looking at you and they're like, why do you have a bat? And it came as, a point of discussion, and I think that's very creative of them.
Yeah, very smart.
Yes, definitely.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Well, thank you, and I look forward to future opportunities with your team.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye. So, tell us what your name is and what your business is.
My name is Sarah Dean, and I own Strategic Creations. We've been around since 2011, and we're a proposal consultant, and we do proposals for government contractors, environmental firms, and AE firms. And I also have another company with a partner where it's called the Proposaling Pros, and what we do is proposal writing and management training for proposal teams, internal teams, and other consultants.
Yeah. So what's your big offer for potential clients? Like, why should they bring you in?
Well, we actually recommend that for some of the larger firms that they utilize us to augment their in-house team. So you get surges in workload, or specialized contracts where maybe you don't have the skill set in-house, and we specialize in design, build, construction, for instance, and maybe it's a large IDIQ, and that's really our specialty. And so you might come to us for those special opportunities.
What are some of the bigger projects that you've been able to successfully work on for folks?
Oh my gosh, MRR, which is a medical IDIQ for the Army Corps. Some environmental contracts regionally across the country. The last two AFICAs, which is large Air Force $1 billion contract. So secured those for clients on the last 2 rounds, and we'll be working on it again. I'm trying to think of some of the other big ones. EHRM contracts for the VA. Those are large, big projects. So in the last year, we have won over $1.5 billion in contracts. We still have a lot pending,
fantastic.
Too. We still have many pending.
I used to write brownfields grant applications, like on behalf, like basically pro bono for communities and stuff. And it was I was just so proud of myself that first time, like, I've got over $1 million for people, you know?
Oh, I know. I've seen that. The first 500,000 is big. Now I'm like, 500,000? Do that in my sleep. I need a bigger contract.
Yes. So what are you looking forward to at the conference here?
I'm actually looking forward to meeting with additional small businesses, and more specifically, we're trying to meet with more AE firms because we really enjoy those proposals. So I'm trying to backfill with the proposals that we find the most enjoyable, that kind of complement our capabilities in-house. And we have some people that came from AE firms, and they were like, give me some more SF330s. So that's kind of one of our big goals. But I'm also meeting with clients and team partners of our clients. A lot of them are here. And so when I work with prime contractors, their joint venture partners, their AE firms that they work with, and so forth, are all at this conference. So we're hoping to just at least show some face with them and talk to them. And we have a couple contracts underway where we have meetings set up where we actually do some proposal work, unfortunately. Fortunately.
So what is the coolest piece of swag that you've seen on the conference floor so far?
Our swag, for sure.
Okay,
we
absolutely.
have proposal tips, and I felt like that's relevant and has more value than a piece of swag. But I also haven't walked around yet, so I haven't seen good swag yet.
There's good stuff out there.
There is a headshot booth over there.
Yeah,
I think that
done.
is really valuable, too.
Yes. That's the irony of being the guy who has to do all the photos and the video stuff, is you're not in any of them.
That's right.
So I got to get over there and have it done for me.
Yes, I agree. That's what we're going to do. So we dressed up today so we can get our headshots done, and we don't have to do this again.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Likewise.
And tell us your name and your company.
My name's George Tatanapper. I'm with Numina.
And what does your company do?
We are a general contractor, 8A company. We're tribally owned, 100% owned by the Comanche Nation. So we do general contracting, construction.
Interesting. So, who are you most looking to talk to here at the conference?
Any potential client, but mainly DoD, trying to get on these DoD contracts and just expand our capabilities from Lawton, Oklahoma, and outward. Just try to gain revenue for my tribe and for my people.
Yeah. What are the highlight bullet points of your capabilities, would you say?
Well, number one, we're tribally owned. We're an 8A firm, and we're just brand new, starting up. So we're just trying to get our capabilities out there, and just we're at that point where it's time to grow, and all the new relationships that we build will all grow together.
Mm-hmm. Any exciting projects, past or present, that you'd like to share?
Yeah, we just recently got awarded a sole source award with the U.S. Army Corps in New Orleans for $4.5 million to replace some water meters. So that's kind of our beginning point. So we're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. So you've been walking around the floor. What's the most impressive piece of swag that you've seen out on the booths?
Oh, well, actually, I just walked in the door probably 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
So I'm just still checking it out, and looks like there's a lot going on. So just soaking it in right now and venturing out.
What would be your main pitch to some of the people here you're interested in talking to get them interested in the company here?
A lot of these contractors or contracting officers, they need to specify some for 8A companies or for tribally owned companies or tribal companies itself. So I'm trying to differentiate ourselves from those other companies and represent my tribe, which is Comanche Nation.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us
Thank
today.
you.
Really appreciate it. And once again, your name and where you work.
Okay, so Chuck Mifsud. My company is CM Contracting and Consulting, Inc.
Okay. And what does your company specialize? What's your area?
So we specialize in skiff construction, design build, facility maintenance for skiff construction.
Yeah. And you're on the smaller side, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many employees you got?
Right now we have 11 employees.
And what's kind of your area that you generally cover?
We cover all the United States, but we generally cover the DMV area, D.C., Virginia, Maryland.
Yeah. And what are some of the bigger projects that you guys have worked on?
One of the larger projects we just got awarded was a $2.5 million contract for doors and hardware for a data center for a skiff build-out.
That kind of area that you work in, that's pretty much everybody needs that. So if anybody's putting in a building, it's going to
pretty much
potential
even if it's not new build, it's maintenance on existing builds. Yep.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about the kind of the disposition of your business. So it's probably a relatively intimate affair there. You get to know everybody pretty well at a company that size.
Yes, sir. So it's family owned. Two of my sons actually work for me. My neighbor, who's 3 houses down, our kids grew up together. She works for me now. She's retired. So yeah, it's very intimate. Bringing up the right people, the people that you trust, is big coming up. As you're growing your company.
So who are you looking to talk to here at the conference? Who are you looking to make the connections with while you're here?
Connections-wise, just trying to get my name out there, I'm trying to find some subcontractors in other areas. So if we need to, we got a lot of subs that'll travel, but it's always nice to have guys in your back pocket to get better quotes.
Yeah.
And also get in front of the Army Corps, some of these larger companies that will allow us to, come along and, not run the job, but support them in their project.
Yeah. Pretty early on so far in the conference, but how would you say it's been going so far?
I'm really impressed.
Yeah?
Really impressed. A lot of people here, a lot more than I thought. This is my first conference, SAME conference, so pretty neat.
Yeah, awesome. So walking around so far, what have you seen as far as swag on the tables? What's the most interesting piece of swag that you've noticed?
Actually, there's a gentleman a couple booths over has actually got a Caterpillar simulator where you sit in there and you can actually run a bulldozer. And
I gotta get in that.
That's pretty cool. So
that's awesome.
That's probably the neatest thing I've seen thus far. A lot of good signs. Every booth's got a lot of information. So explains what they are and what they do, what they perform. So,
all right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Yep. Thank you.
So tell us your name and where you work.
Hi, my name is Lael Ossie. I'm owner here at Telecom and Construction. We're Houston-based federal contractor.
And what brings you to the conference this year?
We're trying to get back into federal contracting. For the past 2 years, we were so busy with the private sector. So this year, we decided that we need to get back. So we're here to meet more people and sign up with the supplier diversity programs that they have to be able to actually land these contracts.
Great. And tell me more about your business, kind of the specifics of it, the way it operates, number of employees, all that stuff.
We're a small business based in Houston, Texas. We are women-owned. We do wireless and wireline. So basically, we're telecom, and then we got into construction whenever we got our WOSB certification with the federal government. Our main contract with the wireless department and the wireline department is with the private sector. So it's AT&T, Crown Castle, ATC, Verizon.
Yeah.
On the other side, with the construction, our main contract is with the Army and in Austin, Texas, and the National Guard.
How has the conference been going so far? You've been able to speak to the people you're looking for?
This is our fourth time in these conferences. I was at the Nashville one last year, and then so on and so forth. I go to a lot of the DLA ones because our supply chain department also. This one has been already great because I already have spoken to a lot of the people that I already have were had on my list already. A couple of them were very interested, and especially that we are a small WOSB. We're already applying for our 8A, so these are bigger companies that are looking for smaller contractors like us. Absolutely. So it's been great already, and we're about to go to the sessions in a little bit.
Perfect.
So hopefully those will also bring in more than what we've been anticipating.
Yeah. So you've been walking around the floor a little bit. What's the best piece of swag you've seen on the tables?
I think the hot sauce on one of the places.
Have you tried it yet?
No, but well, I've seen them before.
Yeah.
And they had different kind of hot sauces. So it was interesting to me. It's completely different than everybody else.
Cool.
But
I got to keep that in mind when we're
they're
debriefing
right
on our
behind
swag. Oh, perfect.
Saw them yesterday.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tell us who you are and who your company is.
Hi, well, I'm Karen Barber. I am the owner of the Barber Group. We are a nationwide award-winning surety brokerage firm. We do CONUS and OCONUS bonding, and we've been doing it since 2002, but I've been in the industry since the 80s.
And how many staff do you have?
We have about 5 people on staff, and we have an office in Nashville, and we have an office in Maryland.
And do you have any principal targets that you're looking to talk to while you're at the conference?
Any contractor that needs a bond.
Yeah. What kinds of businesses are you typically working with?
It goes from a gamut of, sediment and control, restoration contractors, environmental, EFIS contractors, general contractors, Super 8A firms, 8A firms, Hub Zone, service disabled vets, prime contractors, tradesmen, trade contractors. It doesn't really... we have so many. We have quite a few.
Yeah, and you said you've been in the business for a while.
Yeah, over 35 years.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I was a subcontractor for 10 years. We did steel erection and metal fabrication. We put all the steel into the Washington, D.C. monument right before 9/11. So the company ended in 2002.
So aside from that, what are some of the bigger projects that you've handled in your tenure?
We've handled projects that are so unique, some that involve high architectural design work that is a problem, because if they fail to do the system, then there's not going to be another firm that can step in and complete the work. So pretty much a forfeiture type obligation to where we would have to pay out the entire contract value. But our contractors range mostly from, startups to companies doing about $500 million in sales. So it just runs the gamut. I mean, $25, $30 million projects on average. But we do write a lot of small business bonds too.
Yeah.
We have a portal on our website that any contractor can apply if they're small and they're just starting out and they just want a letter. It's free. And you can qualify for projects up to $600,000 based off personal credit.
What are some of the more interesting conversations you've gotten to have so far at the conference?
At this conference, the conversations are, we've just got awarded a lot of work, but we can't bond it.
Okay.
And our surety company is saying no, and that's an eye-opener.
Yeah.
I don't know the truth behind everything. I'm finding that out, but it's a lot of, like, there are surety companies, a few that I know of, that are having difficulty. And they don't want to take on any more work, and they are re-underwriting their clients. And the person I spoke to is with one of those surety companies that is doing that. So it can cause havoc to your whole growth strategy to find out that your surety company is basically disintegrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your maybe your big recommendation or tip for folks in that industry that are maybe running into issues like that?
So what we do, if we have a large client where bonding is their lifeblood, we'll have a backup surety.
Yeah.
And so if that one fails or says no for any reason, it gives us the excuse to call the backup surety to see if they'll want to support the bond.
Yeah. Okay. So having walked around on the floor, what would you say is the coolest or most interesting piece of swag that you've seen out there today?
Well, I'm sporting it. I'm wearing this ring that lights up, and it is just really fun. I feel like it should be in New Orleans, but it's fun.
That's for next year.
That's for next year.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Oh, thank you for the attention. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, so go ahead and tell us your name and where you work.
Okay, so my name is Jessica. I work at Audi, which is a very small prime contractor based out of North Carolina. We do a lot of construction. We're 8A and HubZone certified. Yeah.
So what are kind of the primary areas that you have worked in so far that the company's done?
So we've been around since 2016, so we've got a pretty good amount of experience under our belt. But right now, a lot of our work is in the Southeast region.
Yeah.
So a lot of North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, Florida. And we do a lot of contract work with the Defense Department.
Yeah. We have a Greenville, South Carolina office. It's like my favorite place to visit.
Yeah.
I love being I get a
That's
chance
a
to
good
go down
area.
there.
Yeah.
I'm based in the Connecticut one.
Okay.
Yeah.
A bit more Midwest.
So what are some of the individual projects since 2016 that have come up that are some on the bigger side for you guys?
So most recently, we're about to finish up a project at Century Station, which is the post office in downtown Raleigh.
Yeah.
We also have a few projects out at the EPA site in Durham, in North Carolina. And then we also have a project right now at Cape Canaveral down at the NASA base in Florida.
Who are you looking to connect with at the conference here?
Ooh, that is a very broad question. I know we do want to meet with more of different districts in the USOS industry. Mostly, all of our work is federal. We don't really do any private sector work. So just any federal that want to come up to us that are more interested. We did meet with some Department of State people trying to get more out there. So yeah.
What are some of the more interesting conversations that you've had so far?
Honestly, the more interesting ones have been with other construction companies that I've had with the work that they do.
Yeah.
Federal, it's like the basic elevator pitch, nothing new. But the more memorable ones, I'd say, are the other small businesses, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my
How many
experience.
employees do you guys have?
Right now we have about 12, I want to say, so very small business.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what's the day-to-day like for a smaller company in this industry?
I feel like every day looks very different. It just kind of depends on your priorities, what needs to get done for the day. We try and plan out our weeks ahead of time, just so we're good to go, because a lot of our work is also self-performed.
Yes.
So that can get pretty busy pretty quickly, especially with the amount of projects that we have.
Cool. So walking around on the floor, what's the coolest piece of swag you've seen at the booths?
Ooh, there's been a decent amount. I've seen some Yeti coolers that were pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've seen some. I know people were selling liquor. I don't know if that was a thing here. Those were probably my favorite too. Yeah.
All right, great. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on, I guess.
Absolutely. So, tell us your name, a little bit about yourself and your company.
Yeah, sure. My name is Ed Fleming. Our company is Tanana Environmental. We're an Alaska Native corporation, 8A, and we specialize in full-service environmental work, remediation, investigations, military munitions response, as well as NEPA work and natural resources and compliance.
About how big is your company?
Well, we're 52 people right now. I'm sure, like most other companies, we are growing. We're looking to hire 16 new folks here in the next 90 days.
Nice. So how's the conference been for you so far?
Conference has been great. This is, for me personally, this is probably my 15th or 16th SAME Small Business Conference, so I've been to a lot of them, and they're always a very good conference.
What's your background?
So my personal background, I was in the Army for 25 years, and so I have a lot of experience with the Corps of Engineers. I was an engineer officer in the Army, and I've served in numerous Corps assignments, so that's why I was an attendee at this conference frequently. When I retired from the military, I went to work for a developer, and it was a company that would buy lots of land and get it rezoned, and then sell it to a builder, and there would be a nice new housing development that would go in. And then about 14 months ago, I started working for Tanana, and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, so how's the company?
Oh, it's great. We're a growing firm. We're passionate about the work. And the unique thing I find in the environmental business is that folks who work in the environmental business, they also spend their free time doing some of the similar things of their work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if you were to give some of my folks a couple of hours free, they would probably be working and volunteering somewhere, something to do with the environment.
Absolutely.
And I think that's unique. You don't really see that in a lot of other industries.
Yeah. My dad's in the environmental industry, hydrogeologist.
Yeah, so you get it.
His free time is caving and writing land grants to get caves put into conservancies.
Yeah. Right. So, and again, that makes, I don't want to say it makes the job a little easier, but clearly folks are passionate about their work, and that's good.
It's a huge part of what makes HRP and Thunderbird the company that it is. And it's really good to hear that that's consistent in other places as well.
Yeah.
So you've been coming to these for quite a while. Obviously, they've been very successful for you. What are you hoping to get from this one?
We actually have 4 goals for the conference this year, and when my employees come to me and say, "Hey, I want to go to a conference," one of the questions is, "What are we going to get out of it?"
Exactly.
You can't just go and sit around and walk away with a bunch of koozies and chip clips and stress balls.
Yeah.
You got to get something out of it. So we decided to look in the mirror and come up with some goals. Our first goal is that we are going to shore up our current clients. So we have contracts with whether the Corps of Engineers or NAVFAC or specific districts, and we have some networking sessions with them. We want to go and shore them up and make sure they're happy with the work, and if there are things that we could do better or differently. And also too, you don't get to see them face to face a lot, particularly at my level. The second thing is we want to look for some new business partners. We have a growing compliance program. And I went under compliance. I'm also kind of unfairly lumping a bunch of stuff under there. NEPA, natural resources, kind of all the bugs and buddies, if I might say, right? So we want to do that. And we're also growing our MMRP program, our military munitions response program. So we want to look for some new business partners there. And the third thing is, quite frankly, we're doing some recruiting. We want to make sure that folks know that we're hiring. And if they're looking to make a move, then we're looking to talk to you.
Awesome.
So this is a great conference for people who are maybe looking to make a move but don't want to jump out and apply to something online right away.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been walking the floor here, looking at the booths. What is the best piece of swag that you've seen that's out there?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm a sucker. I mean, it's kind of tried and true at these conferences, but I'm a sucker for a couple of free golf balls.
Yeah.
So I see the golf balls. Now, I will tell you, we at our Tanana booth have a straw that will help to filter out some contaminants.
Oh, okay.
And so it's called a life straw.
Yeah.
And we keep them for real special people that walk by. But that's kind of a unique thing that we have. And again, being in the environmental business, to have a straw that filters out contaminants is something kind of neat.
Every time I'm going to go on a backpacking trip, I'm like, I don't need to bring water. I'll just get a life straw.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. I recently, last spring, hiked the Grand Canyon.
Nice.
And,
okay.
of course, we had to kind of pump water at certain points because the water was shut off. Actually, in March, it was still pretty cold in the Grand Canyon, and there were some pipes that were freezing.
Yeah.
So we had to pump water and filter it. It would have been nice to have a life straw there.
All right. Okay. Well, Ed, thank you so much for talking to us today. Really
Great.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, what's your name? What do you do here?
My name is Dee Espinosa. I'm the owner of Espinosa Consulting Services. We do predominantly cultural resource management, but also a bit of NEPA, some GIS. Sometimes we fix people's back-end systems for recording data.
Yeah. Tell me about the history of your company.
We've been in business since 2010. We're based out of South Central Colorado, but we work throughout the Rockies, most of the western states, into the east, and as far away as Guam.
Wow. What are some of the bigger projects that the company's taken over the years or might currently be working on?
We've done about 90,000 acres of pedestrian cultural resource inventory at a base in Southern California.
Yeah.
That equates to about 35, 40 acres per person per day. So you can imagine how many people days that is. We regularly do about between 35 and 45,000 acres of pedestrian inventory every year. It's the bulk of what we do. So we work for DOD, we work for installations, we work for the BLM, for the Forest Service, for the Park Service, for private industry. We're predominantly, though, a government contractor.
Yeah. Is this the first one of these conferences you've been to? Or?
Oh my gosh. Our company has been, this is probably about our fifth for this company. And then I've been in the industry a while, so I've been at these events with other companies.
Yeah. What are your goals for this one?
To make some new connections, reconnect with some people that I haven't seen in a while. A lot of times these events bring people from different areas that we wouldn't necessarily run across in other spaces. It allows me to put a face, a name to a face for our current clients, some of which I only talk to on Zoom or Teams. So it just allows us to connect and reconnect.
Yeah. And how many employees is your company?
Right now, I believe we're somewhere around 40, and I say I believe because we tend to shrink down in the winter and expand in the summer.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, we're a field profession mainly.
Who are you most looking to connect with or talk to at the conference?
Oh, I don't even know. Mainly potential new partners.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Not that our current partners are bad, but you just have to keep renewing that and finding different opportunities as the federal government shifts gears and develops in different areas. You need partners in different areas of the U.S. in different specialties.
Yeah. Okay. So walking around, seeing the different booths, who has the best swag? What's the most interesting or coolest piece of swag that you've seen out there?
Oh my God, I haven't even been looking.
You gotta check it out. There's good stuff out there.
I ended up with a pen. I don't know. I needed a pen, so it was useful at the time.
We keep getting pens and then losing them and having to go walk around to raid more pens.
Exactly, and get more pens.
Yeah.
Somebody has a bat.
The bat,
The bat, like a squishy thing,
that.
like a bat. That one's pretty cool. One year, somebody had these fold-out, like the fold-out rulers.
Yeah.
That was like last year. Somebody had fold-out rulers, and we were in Nashville, and that was like the most useful thing I saw.
Yeah.
That was like, I can use this. This is going in my gear bag because it's gonna end up with me in the mountains.
I've seen some people out there with like large tape measures. They look like 12 or 16 feet.
Jeez.
And I'm like, I gotta talk to this person.
Where'd they get that? I mean,
I know.
I don't travel with that stuff, but I mean, we use it when we're, recording large sites, but most of the time it's just what you fit in your backpack because we have to carry all that stuff.
Yeah.
And when you're walking, 8 miles, 6 miles, 10 miles in a day to go do your work, you don't want to carry a 50-foot tape.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. All right. What's your name and what's your company?
Hi, Bill Greenberg, and I'm with Technical Ascent.
And tell me a little bit about the company. What's its constitution? What does it do? What are the people like?
So it's starting with the why. Our company, we are a service-disabled, veteran-owned business. The core competency of Technical Ascent is we are a service design company. So a lot of the work that we do is more with the VA and DOL, and we interview either employees or customers of the agency to find out their pain points.
Okay. What are some of the primary projects that you do? Some of the day-to-day stuff that you guys work on?
So 90% of our work is at service design. I oversee the quantitative side of our company. So I have a team of cost engineers and data scientists. Right now, our main contract is supporting NAVFAC and the earthquake recovery programs for China Lake, the Navy base in the middle of the Mojave Desert.
Yeah. So what do you guys like? What is some of the details of what that looks like?
So the first part, our cost engineers. We're doing all the cost estimates for it's about 40 buildings that were damaged or destroyed in the earthquake. So we're helping the government with their IGEs, the independent government estimates, to make sure that they're getting the right price for when you go build a $10, $20 million building. We're setting the government up for success for when they go into their negotiations. On the flip side of that is my data science team. We went and interviewed the employees of NAVFAC, and we found out, what do you guys need to be successful to bring the base back up to full mission capability? So we set up our data pipelines. We tied into 35 different sources of data. So construction schedules, emails, Excel spreadsheets. And we're pulling those into dashboards and making them meaningful and insightful. So if you're responsible for installing the cranes there, there's 35 cranes that are going in. When was that purchase order placed? When are they being manufactured, shipped to the base, installed, tested, and it's full mission capable. So we're pulling over 600,000 points of data, refreshing them every hour. So to set the team up for success there.
What can you principally offer a federal agency you might be looking into getting the work that you do?
So a lot of the work, there are other cost estimating firms. There are other people who do data science. I credit a lot of our success is in that first part of what we do. We are a service design company. So sitting down with the client or your customer, interviewing them, finding out what their pain points are. What are you reporting up and out? We'll sit and interview you and ask a lot of questions. So when we turn around and we do our cost estimates, our reports, our dashboards, it's only information that's meaningful to you guys. We put that extra care into our work. Our cost engineers, for the China Lake project, we are within 4% of the actual bid price. So we're hitting that bullseye almost every time.
Perfect.
Our data scientists, those dashboards, through a series of tabletop exercises, we keep refining what we're presenting, and we're refining it. And we just did a brand new dashboard update. And now when you go into the site, the PMs, the architects, whoever needs this information is very specific based off of the building you're working on and the hat that you wear within that. So these are the dates to ensure full mission capability. We have those. If they slip, we're going to notify you as soon as those numbers change. So it's very proactive in what we're doing. So
awesome. And what's the coolest piece of swag you've seen on the floor here?
So far, the coolest thing, there's a booth that's raffling off a crossbow. Which I think is very interesting because I think most of us are traveling in. I live in Puerto Rico. I don't think I can get that back onto the plane.
You take it on as your personal item?
No, I don't think I can carry it on, but it would be nice to have. There's lots of iguanas out there, so get good use out of it.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, so tell me your name and the company you work for.
My name is Salman Saqib. I'm an environmental engineer. I currently work for Force Asset Management. We're headquartered in San Antonio, and my specialty is GIS, mapping, and surveying.
So what kind of designations does the company have as well?
The current designations we have are 8A, minority-owned business, service-disabled veteran-owned business, hub certified, and also historically disadvantaged businesses.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about the company.
Force Asset Management is a diverse company. It's a minority-owned business, and we do a lot of facility assessments, utility mapping, and geospatial applications, mostly using drones for the aerial division, but also using cutting-edge technology and software for the utility assessments and construction projects.
What do you have for drones? What's your fleet like?
We have the Inspired Flights 1200A. We have the Quantum Systems Trinity F90 Plus, and we also have the Micro Drones 1000A. All of these drones are very capable and more suited for surveying needs rather than just videography or recreational flights.
Yeah. What kinds of services do you offer? Like, what are your principal services that clients come to you for?
We do all kinds of aerial surveying, including boundary surveys, field assessments, photogrammetry, LiDAR point cloud generations, and also planimetric surveys. We also do topo surveys and also do contour surveys as well.
And what advantages do your drone services offer versus traditional surveying techniques?
Whatever it would take for a traditional survey crew, at least few weeks, we can get that done in a couple of hours because our drones cover hundreds of acres like every hour because it's aerial and it's high speed, and also it's more accurate. We have checked the accuracy. It's way more accurate than manual traditional surveys because here you can visually see everything from the sky.
Yeah. Who are you most interested in connecting with here at the conference?
We're mostly interested in the military facilities and the federal facilities because we already have massive experience of working at military and federal facilities for utility assessments and other applications. But we would also like to expand our aerial services to these facilities that we are currently looking to connect with.
And walking around the exhibit floor here, what's the best piece of swag you've seen on the tables?
So far, I have not seen a better swag than our own drones because if you see if you walk around, you'll see backdrops and you'll see some cool technology, but nothing beats latest cutting-edge, state-of-the-art technology than big drones.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm a drone pilot myself.
I'm a drone pilot myself, too.
Yeah. All right, well, hey, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. So tell us your name and your company.
Yeah, my name is Katie Pillion. I'm with ZZ Construction. We're a general contractor out of Santa Ana, California.
What's the history of your company? How long have you been around?
Yep. So ZZ was founded in 2006 by Zach Zatika. That's where the ZZs come from. And started doing some small jobs, working as a subcontractor because that's where you start.
Yeah.
Accepted into the 8A program just last year. We completed our first year in the 8A program just recently, and we've done pretty well in that, but we're looking forward to the next couple years of how we can grow our business and continue supporting our federal customers.
Yeah. What are some of the bigger projects that you guys have worked on in the time?
Yeah, so we've been a subcontractor on some really large projects. We've done everything from working on the border wall in San Diego to renovating hangars at Edwards Air Force Base to installing water lines at Camp Pendleton. So we really run the gamut when it comes to what a federal contractor is going to be doing.
Yeah. How big is your staff?
Yeah, we're pretty light in terms of what we have for our headquarters staff. We put most of our staffing out in the field these days with project managers and superintendents, QC managers. All told, we're probably about 20 and growing.
Nice. Excellent. You hiring right now?
Oh, absolutely.
What positions are you looking for?
What aren't we looking for? No, mostly it's going to be the field leaders, really. QC managers, superintendents, SSHOs. The qualifications that you have to have in the federal space to fill those positions are stringent. And as a small business, it's tough to have a depth of resources. So you're constantly trying to figure out how you can fill that next position for the next job, and then also find the next job to keep the positions filled.
Yeah. How's the conference been going for you so far?
Fantastic. This is an excellent conference. I've been coming for almost a decade.
Yeah.
And it is the best in the industry if you're in this space.
Who are you most looking to talk to at the conference?
Yeah, so I've got a couple different people on my list. The Army Corps Los Angeles District, pretty much all of South Pacific Division. I've been hanging out with them a bunch. NAVFAC Southwest is another target customer for us. The Air Force, because we do work at LA Air Force Base and Edwards Air Force Base, and we want to do more work at space, the Vandenberg Space Force Base. And if I can find anybody here from NASA, that would be a huge win.
So what's the big differentiator for your company? What sets you apart and makes you unique?
Sure. I would say that a big part of it's our past performance. I know you'll have a lot of companies that say that, but relative to a lot of our peers who are just a year into the 8A program, we're going to have more relevant past performance. In addition, we're very lean, but that's one of our benefits is we will pivot. We will pivot quickly. It is you're 2 steps away from someone who makes the final decision at all times. So there's no big escalation trees to get through to solve problems.
Yeah, perfect. So out here walking on the floor, what's the best piece of swag that you've seen at the booth so far?
Okay, I'll let you in on my little conference secret after all these years. I don't pick up swag until the night before, and that's when I really start looking. If I start looking too early, I end up carrying around too much stuff. Then I've got
How
back
do you resist?
problems.
It's so hard to,
right?
I know.
No, my favorite are the things that I can bring back to the rest of the people in my office and to give away to them. So I look for stuff that looks useful for them. It's the pens and the hand sanitizers and the notepads and stacks of Post-it notes, all that sort of fun stuff that they get to feel like it's not just a fun trip away for the marketing people. It's an opportunity for them to also get something out of it too.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Yeah. No, thank you, Tom.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. So tell me your name and your company.
I am Heather France. I am with HP Engineering. We are a mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural firm headquartered in Northwest Arkansas.
How long has the company been around for?
We have been in business for 15 years now.
Yeah. How many folks work there?
We have just under 100 people, including all of our engineers, admin, and executives.
And so what are your designations?
We are a small Native American owned firm. We have a pending, almost there, 8A application that's about to come through, so that's going to be a game changer for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And who are you looking to talk to at the conference here?
I am looking to find architects that will work with us for DoD projects, some SDVOSB architects that we can break into VA and kind of share the love with them and kind of bring them over into our Indian funded projects with IHS, Bureau of Indian Affairs, Department of Interiors.
What are some of the bigger projects that the company has handled?
Oh gosh, some of our biggest ones most recently, I would say, are healthcare projects. We've got one going on now that I think the estimated construction cost is close to about $400 million.
Yeah. What are some interesting projects that you've got going on currently?
I think they're all kind of interesting in their own ways.
Yeah.
We've got several renovations of warehouses in downtown areas, kind of more municipal commercial projects that we're renovating for mixed use, commercial and residential. We're doing a few with Department of Energy, some SCIFs. When you think about like the generals that walk into the secret room and tell them with mission control, push the red button or take that secret phone call. A couple of those going on. Laboratories, hospitals, everything's kind of different in its own way. It just depends what piques your interest.
Yeah. And what differentiates your company from the rest? What makes you guys stand out?
What makes us stand out is we don't have architectural and engineering in-house together. We feel like that's kind of like having a used car lot and a mechanic on staff. So we keep that separate. We keep our partners, a good variety of partners, and are open to that. And we're the largest Native American owned MEP firm in the country. That's fact checked and verified.
And walking around the floor these last few days, what's the most interesting piece of swag that you've seen?
I haven't even seen the swag.
No?
I've been so involved with just talking to people and meeting them and get to know them. I haven't even noticed what's on the tables.
Well, there's some good stuff out there. Make sure to take a look.
What have you seen?
The one that people keep mentioning is that there's like bats, like rubber
bat,
flying bat kind of thing, like in the bottom of a cup that people get.
Okay, I'll
So
have to look
there's
for
a bat
that.
in there. Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a mission after this to find swag.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So go ahead, tell us your name and the company you work for.
Hey Thomas, thanks for having me over. My name is Kari Honkaniemi.
Yeah.
Let's just go by Kari, K-A-R-I, because that's a little easier.
Right.
My company is Audi Construction Solutions, and I'm based in Tampa, Florida. And I'm a manufacturer's distributor. I import the goods and I resell mainly B2B here in the United States. All our products are made in Europe. So I have 3 products made in Finland. One is a Swedish company and another one is a German company.
How long has your company been around for?
Good question. I don't remember if it's 10 or 12 years. So I like to call myself as being a reformed banker. So
Okay.
I quit my banking world and I went into the brick and mortar business and I love it.
What are some of the bigger things that you've worked on?
So the original product was container, a quick build container. So it's a collapsible unit that fits inside a sea container. So we can bring like 28 10-foot containers over on one shipment. And the assembly is manual, tool-free, and it takes about 2 to 5 minutes per container to be assembled by 2 people.
And you're certified as a small business?
Yeah, I'm a small business, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Who are you most looking forward to talking to at the conference?
So construction companies are a big target. So I have other products such as worksite lighting and tower lights. And together with the containers, they all support each other.
What separates you guys or makes you unique?
Well, in the private sector, it's definitely that my competition is Chinese products.
Yeah.
And I have a high quality products made in Europe. Also over here in the United States, well, then I would be competing against some of the US made products, but nobody really has the products that I have.
Yeah.
So all the products are very unique. I have been representing for 3 years a smart lock, and the lock is very unique in the feature that it has no keyhole nor a battery, but it works with the mobile phone, and nobody else has the same technology in the market.
Interesting. All right. So while you've been out on the conference floor, what's the most interesting or coolest piece of swag that you've seen at the booths?
It's hard to say. I mean, there's just a lot of energy here.
Yeah.
I love the buzz. I really like to be in the conferences and meeting new people, and you never know who's walking from around the corner, and they'll find you interesting, you find their products interesting or what they do, and it's a very, very good networking opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kari, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you very much. Nice to talk to you as well.
Tell me your name and the company you work for.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Weichel, and I work for GovGig.
And tell us about GovGig. What does it do?
So GovGig was originally started with the understanding that federal contracts are built on site, but they're really done on paper. And one of the biggest hurdles they have to look out for is staffing.
Yeah.
So when government contracts are awarded, most contractors are in the now what do we do phase.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, in the now what do we do phase, you're already behind schedule and over budget. So we started GovGig and we built the software GovGig with the intent of getting boots on ground, qualified, certified personnel on the team, on the ground, so we can build what we need and get the end user what they need as soon as they need, because it's ultimately a mission readiness and it's ultimately about the end user. So we started out with what we kind of dubbed the big four. So your project manager, your site safety health officer, quality control manager, and superintendent, but we've since branched off into many other billets and project admin and all different ranges and billets within the government construction industry.
Yeah. What does the kind of interaction look like for someone who wants to use the service?
So it's usually they come to us after they've gotten an award or in an just-in-time kind of scenario, like a distress project. God forbid something happens to one of your project personnel. You need someone to fill the gap. Any one of our team, for instance, my boss and I can wear any one of those 4 hats.
Yeah.
It's really just keeping the project moving so we don't have a stop work, so there's no liquidated damages. There's no delaying that mission readiness for the end user.
Yeah.
So if someone comes to us, it's and just for instance, I need a superintendent at San Antonio. I only need him to fill the gap for about 4 weeks. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
And usually, yeah. In that instance, they would be an employee of ours, and we would essentially, you as the contractor would rent someone from us on an hourly rate. If you come to us and say, I just got awarded these 3 projects, I need a superintendent and a site safety health officer to help with these 2 projects. I need full-time employees looking to hire both individuals.
Yeah.
So we would then put you in touch with those qualified individuals. And right now with our software built, we have about 7,000 people, give or take a few dozen, in our software that have already been pre-vetted, pre-qualified. They're ready to print out their resume, their certs, give them to you so you can give them to the government, approve them, get them on site to keep the project moving.
That's awesome. Is there any other service out there that's doing this?
Not to the degree we are.
Okay.
And I say that absent all arrogance and hubris. Just so the last 11 of my 21 years in the Navy was with the CBs and NAVFAC and government contracting. My boss, who has been in industry for the last 16 years, started out as a junior project engineer with his dad's electrical company. Worked his way up to a senior project manager for an electrical grid infrastructure project in Puget Sound Naval Shipyard for a critical infrastructure project. He got it across the finish line, and it's really, again, with the end user as the end state, having that in mind, having that goal in mind. It's not just about the now, it's about the so what, if that makes sense.
So who are you most looking to connect with here at the conference?
Really, anybody who needs help. And if they need staffing, we also offer professional services. It originally spawned from the need for REAs, Request for Equitable Adjustment, which is really nothing more than a contract modification after the work's been done. But REAs are administrative burdens on a great day. So a lot of contractors just pass on it because they don't want to deal with the administrative headache. They might not know how to do it. They just want to get the project done and get on to their next project. So what we did, and I reviewed some REAs from the government side, so I know what to look for, I know what they're looking for. So as long as they have the appropriate documentation to validate the X dollars and Y days that they're asking for, then the contractors get what they're essentially owed. And it's not from an entitlement perspective, but if, case in point, if you were doing work for somebody and they hadn't paid you yet, you'd want to be compensated for both your time and the materials. So think of it that way.
So you've been walking around the floor. What's the coolest piece of swag you've seen at the booths?
Oh, man, I actually just started walking around within the last couple minutes. Coolest piece of swag, I think, has been the crossbow. I didn't put my
the crossbow.
I didn't put my card in there. I just saw it, and one of the guys came back and said, "Hey, there's a crossbow over there." Of course, I believed him, but I still had to, trust but verify. So I'm gonna go find a crossbow.
All right.
Found the crossbow, and I think that was one of the coolest things.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us today. Really
Tom,
appreciate it.
thanks for having me. I appreciate talking and looking forward to the rest of the conference.
My pleasure. All right, thanks. True, I dominated ours. Okay, everybody. Hey, hello. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for making it through to this far into the podcast. We had some great interviews. You got to think. Well, I like to think that anytime you put out content, you're asking someone to invest their time. And you want to have every minute of their time, and it'll probably be up to an hour at this point. You want to feel like it was worth it, and we appreciate you being here.
We do.
Yeah, for sure.
with us as we are here at SAME, which stands for
Society
of American
Military Engineers.
Awesome. Huge conference here. Really focuses on small business and connecting them to federal government.
Yep.
As well as a venue for service-disabled, veteran-owned small business joint ventures like us.
That's right.
To help connect with them.
That's
So
right.
How's the conference been going for everybody here?
Really
Actually,
good.
quickly, let's just introduce ourselves. I'm, of course, Tom Simmons. We have
Kathleen Majors out
Nice.
of Charlotte.
Sean Malin, Principal Regional Manager out of the Greenville office.
And we've been having just a wonderful conference so far. We're all pretty dead at this point, and it's only day 2.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
been exhausting.
They give us free beer, so.
Yeah, that's good. What's everyone drinking? I've got the, what is this called? It's a little Bat Out of Hell.
Yeah.
Out of Hell, German-style lager. Perfect, exactly what I was hoping for. What'd you get, Sean?
I went in Rome, so I picked a Shiner. I had the free ticket and the badge. So when in Rome, that was the best thing that I had at the booth that I saw the beer at.
Yeah, and I got the Alamo Amber Lager.
That wasn't
it's
even.
really good.
That was not even. Neither of these were options at the beer stand that I went to.
Really?
So.
Yeah.
That
this
said,
one's
love
really
you,
good.
Shiner. It's a great product. Very much like
Shameless
Shiner
plug.
bought. Yeah. So getting back to your comment, I mean, so Kathleen and I specifically do a fair amount of conferences together and apart. And I don't know how you feel, because this is the first time you've been to this conference.
This is the first time,
I
yep.
feel like out of all of the shows that we go to, this one is not only the biggest, but it's a hustle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like there is so many people to talk to.
Yep.
There's never that lull.
Yeah.
And if you're on your game and you have, your stuff together, there's somebody that you need to know around every corner in this place.
Yeah.
And there's this sense of I could see it in your eyes today, right?
It's
Like you
tough to
get
get-
tired because like you
Yeah.
feel like you don't want to miss an opportunity. And it's once a year, and so I'm gassed.
Well, yeah, no,
Yeah,
this
dude.
conference is quality and quantity for sure. Like I
Yeah.
can walk up to anybody and find a connection to where we can work together. And so after 8 hours of that, my sparkle's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
My sparkle. That's what she refers to. Her sparkle.
My
It's
sparkle.
pretty funny.
I've been standing
I've coined
for
it.
so long that I can feel like the blood pulse through my feet every so often.
Yeah.
And it feels like I'm like standing on like
Right.
some squishy.
Why do you think I'm
Right.
sitting?
Yeah, it's brutal.
And I was a
I'm sitting.
catcher in my early days, so I have the knees of like an 85-year-old man. So my dogs are barking, but they feed you caffeine, they feed you alcohol in the afternoons, and that's kind of the juices that make business development go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, there have been great connections here. We've met a lot of really cool people, and we've gotten to talk to some of them too, as you've seen so far.
Absolutely.
So, what's everybody? What are you doing these days to like stay entertained? What are you watching, reading? What do you
gosh.
got?
I got
Listening
my
to?
answer.
What do you got?
We just binged the 7th season of Billions.
Okay.
The last final episode came out last week, so we binged it all last weekend. Phenomenal show.
Yeah.
It's about a hedge fund and all of the New York Wall Street. Paul
Me,
Giamatti's in it.
Huge Giamatti fan.
Yeah. Oh my
Huge
God.
Giamatti
Best
fan.
show ever.
Man crush.
Yeah. Phenomenal. So that is probably my current obsession for sure.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you got?
Man,
Kids.
we're in a rut. We're in a rut, but we're waiting for. So I'm a big Star Wars guy, so we just kind of crushed Ahsoka and waiting for some of those other Disney Star Wars shows to come back. I will say, I'm embarrassed. This is an embarrassing story, actually. So in classic Sean form, I went into the office last week, and I was telling somebody, I think it was Tom Darby, who's here today with us. I said, man, you got to see on Netflix, there's this show called The Hill House Haunting. And I was telling him it as if this had just dropped.
Yeah.
And he's like, Sean, like, that came out before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious? Because I thought that it just hit Netflix because it was Halloween time, right? So,
Yep.
like, Netflix is doing the algorithm and it's kind of throwing stuff at you. And I just assumed that it was a brand new thing. And we watched the whole thing. And Tom like took all the air out of my balloon because I thought that I was offering him you
New
know,
content.
new content
Yeah.
and this awesome show. And he's like, that's really old, dude.
You want to know a guilty pleasure of mine? It comes out tomorrow. The most recent season comes out tomorrow. It actually drops at midnight. Selling Sunset.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know that one.
Selling Sunset.
I don't know
It's
that.
like 8 really hot women that are realtors on the Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
Sell multi-million dollars of houses.
Have you watched this?
Joe and I and Everett
Joe.
play Call of Duty with a guy whose wife watches it and it has him watch it with her. So
Oh.
we'll all be online and we'll be like, dude, you got to come on, you got to get on COD. And he's like,
Yeah.
can't, watching Selling Sunset.
Yeah, no, seriously, Taylor likes to pretend he hates it, and
Yeah.
then 2 episodes in, he's like, "Can we just keep going?" That man has stayed up to 3 a.m. to finish that season. It is a great trash TV show.
So going back to current Halloweeny shows.
Okay.
Not to step on your Sunset. I mean, were we done? Were we done with Sunset?
No, we were done.
All right,
We were
my
done.
bad.
Step on my Sunset, Sean.
Sorry. Russell Crowe has that movie on Netflix called The Pope's Exorcist. Did you guys watch that yet?
No.
It's pretty good.
Is it scary?
Sure. It's pretty scary.
I'm-
And from what
I'm
I
down with
understand,
scary.
it's loosely based on something that actually happened.
Wow.
But he does really good. I can't remember the last time I saw Russell Crowe in something. I mean, he's kind of taken like side roles here over the
Yeah.
last couple of
He's done some
like,
bad movies, too.
Yeah, but he's made some great
Has
movies.
he gone
He
the
has made some
Nicolas
really
Cage
good
route?
No, false. No way. Love you, Nick
Well, in
Cage.
terms of taking garbage roles because you need money, he's in that.
No. These are all lies.
I started Band of Brothers.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
I watch it every year.
Yep.
I probably
First
watch it more
episode's
often.
done. I'm in. After episode
It's a
1.
masterpiece. Have you seen Band of Brothers?
The Tom. I mean, it was on HBO, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like 20 years
Dude,
ago.
you got to watch it. It's
good.
so
Like 20
it's so
years
good.
ago?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes, 20 years ago.
I refuse to believe that.
It was in I was in high school when they showed it.
Stop
Yeah.
it. Both of you stop.
Yeah, Taylor was 12 when it came out.
Jesus. That hurts.
You don't look a day over 30.
But you haven't watched the whole thing yet, Kathleen?
No, episode
Okay.
1.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we finished Billions. I was really sad. Who's the main guy in Band of Damian Lewis?
Damian Lewis, yeah.
I was like, man, I really like him. And Taylor's like, you should watch Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
So we
What-
started
it's,
it.
It's a series, isn't it?
It's
Yeah, it
a
follows-
10 episode.
Yeah.
It
So you say you
follows-
watch it annually.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
'Cause
Basically, it's a
I love
movie
it so
divided
much,
into
but,
10
like,
hours.
Anytime there is a military adjacent or directly inspired holiday, I'm like, okay, it's time to watch Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Harry Potter at Christmas.
Harry Potter's not a Christmas movie.
Neither is Die Hard.
I think a lot of people would disagree with you on that front.
That's how we get the most
Oh,
views on
my.
this video.
Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
Halloween.
Christmas. Clearly.
We both go right in a grocery store, though. So
Man. Yeah, is that a thing? Like she asked me this question today, and it was peculiar at the time, but the more I thought about it,
Yeah?
she's like, when you go into a grocery store, do you immediately go to the right or do you go to the left? And I thought, what a strange question. Clearly, you go to the right. You walk into the front door of the grocery store, there's customer service, there's checkouts there. You only have one option but to go right.
Well,
But in her world, people go left.
Oh yeah.
well, I go in. The entrance is like the middle of the store, so I could go either
way.
direction. Yeah.
Well, in a Publix, you
At a
got 2
Publix.
entrances. You got the left entrance, which
Right.
is to the left of all that checkout stuff,
Yeah.
and you got the right entrance, which is to the right.
No, false. Publix would tell us there's a left and a right entrance, but it all goes into the breezeway and dumps you into one door. And that door is at the end of the registers. So you have to go right. If you go left, you're going completely against flow. Completely upstream. There are people with carts coming, with
is
groceries.
flow?
There are parents that have children that have been complaining for a frickin' hour about being in the grocery store. And you, my friend, are mucking up the entire
I go
thoroughfare.
right. I
muck
go
up.
right.
Okay.
I go
I'm
right.
just saying, like, you have to go right.
It depends on.
Have your wits about you.
There are 2 Stop and Shops that I alternate between when I go grocery shopping, and they have.
Is that a grocery store in the
that's
Northeast?
like in like
Stop and
Connecticut.
Shop?
That's the main
Okay.
one.
We're out of the Yankee Loop.
Mm-hmm.
But those 2 ones have kind of flipped where they have different things. So
You mean different layouts?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I always start by getting like dry goods, and then end with milk and frozen stuff, so that it's out of the freezer the least amount of time.
That's exactly what Taylor does, and he thought I was psychotic by getting my ice cream midway through my shopping trip. I'm like, what's the matter? It's going in the freezer and gets home.
Yeah.
Because I pretty much walk up and down every single aisle.
Oh, no.
Because I have a huge...
Oh, God, no.
I have a problem. I love buying stuff so much.
Really?
That I just will try to find an excuse to buy something.
I will go down an aisle. I will go down an aisle, and if there's a bunch of congestion or there's like some sort of domestic dispute within the family, if there's something I really need down that aisle, I will abort and I will leave and I will do without that item than to go down there and try to negotiate space. I won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Will you patiently wait?
Yeah,
I barged through. I just...
Absolutely.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
You just knock them down, right?
Run them over.
You just Terry Tate them right out of your way to get your Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Well, if we could bring this back a little bit, do you turn right when you go into a grocery store?
I have, no. Well, probably I would turn left because the milk and the frozen stuff would be on the right.
Okay, so what we're saying is specific to the layout of the store. Tom is a cold. He's frozen and cold storage goods last.
But in a Publix, though, I guess you'd go right in a Publix.
I mean, I'm sure Publix has multiple store layouts. I can tell you that the two stores that I frequent in Greenville are different, have different layouts, but not at the front. The aisles may be different, and the deli might be on one side or the other. But the front, when you walk in, is clearly they want you to go right.
See, my Publix has two sets of doors with the cashiers in the middle. So depending on which set of doors you walk in, it kind of pushes you one way or the other.
We're gonna have to get Tampa involved. I believe Tampa, Florida, is where Publix is headquartered. Hopefully they'll see this.
We'll tag them in the video.
Yeah.
What do the Gen Z
dude, we should totally tag them.
YouTubers do?
Yeah.
Leave your answer in the comments. Say if you go left or right.
Yeah.
You say that to us leave
a comment
you're
below
not
what
part
direction
of the
you go
problem there.
in the grocery
that
store.
is 100% you and not us. But thanks for putting that on me. So let's talk about conference stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So you missed it last night.
Okay.
So this is my second small business conference, but I've been to several of these conferences of different sizes and different locations. And so there's a bit of a network there of people that I see from time to time, and I've kept relationships with them.
Yeah.
One of them is my buddy who works for Pond, and I'll leave his name out of it to protect him. But we were at a party after the show last night, and I was in the restroom, and I saw my friend, and I said his name out loud, and he ignored me in the bathroom, and he was walking out. I said his name a second time, and he continued to go out the bathroom.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, I was really excited that I had finally caught up with him because we didn't see each other all day yesterday.
Yeah.
I yelled his name a third time, and the man comes back in. He had exited the bathroom. He comes back into the bathroom, and he says to me, "Look, man, I'm not X. I'm X's twin brother."
What?
And I said, "Whatever, dude." Because his mannerisms were the same. His cadence of his voice were the same.
Yeah.
The fact that he said, "Look, man, that was out of my friend's playbook," and we went on to have, and there was a third person in the bathroom with us.
The third twin.
No, that would be a triplet.
A third twin.
A third twin.
Yeah.
So there was another gentleman in the bathroom who, unbeknownst to me, also knew the person that I thought this individual was. Did you follow all that? There's a guy, I'm going to say it again. There was a guy with me in the restroom who I entered with, who I'd met just minutes before, who also thought that this person was who I thought they were.
Yeah.
And so he chimes in.
Yep.
And we kind of go back and forth a little bit because, we had some cocktails and stuff, and this is like 11:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I just kind of gave in. I'm like, okay, so this person's, I guess, the twin brother.
Yeah.
So we took a selfie in the bathroom, which was super awkward for other people, coming and going. And I texted this individual, and although, to be honest with you, I haven't seen them side by side at this conference. They're both here. They work for different companies.
Yeah, you met up with the guy earlier, and I was like, oh, X.
Right?
And it's I'm not X.
And then you saw.
And I was like,
and
damn,
so it was, in essence, just total chaos in my mind at 11:30 at night that I texted my friend, and I'm like, you never mentioned that you had a twin brother. And so I guess maybe that's where this needs to go is if you meet somebody in a professional setting, at what point in time in your relationship with that person do you get into, hey, by the way, I have a twin who's also in this industry, and it's quite possible that you will bump into them. Don't be confused.
Yeah.
Or do you just continue to operate independently?
Yeah. No, I think that conversation happens before 5 years. I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
really do.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
I think that would be like, how you meet someone and it's 2 truths and a lie?
Mhm.
Like, that would be one of the facts, for sure.
Yeah.
Because what was that, Lindsay Lohan or the Ashley and sisters?
You're losing me with these names.
I don't know.
Oh,
there was
the Olsen twins?
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a movie and they switched and one went into college.
Oh my gosh, that
and,
movie's been redone
Yeah.
so many.
But I feel like that would be a fun
Trap?
fact. Yes, Parent Trap.
Hasn't that movie been done 4 times?
Yes, yeah. But that would be a fun fact. So I'm
Yeah.
surprised you didn't know that, honestly.
Did either of you two watch Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You said it like you'd never heard of
Yeah,
this
he
before.
really. Breaking
I'm confused as to, were there twins in Breaking Bad?
Yeah,
Or are you changing subjects?
the hitmen for the cartel.
They were twins?
You don't remember the twins?
No.
The 2 bald guys that never said anything.
Did they report to the Chicken Man?
No, they were the other guy, the cartel. You don't remember these guys? They were
No.
iconic characters.
No.
No.
What season was this?
Probably
Late?
2 or 3.
Oh, early.
Yeah.
Twins.
Yeah, they're
I
2
don't remember
twins.
that.
They never said anything. They were super badasses.
Okay.
They were hitmen.
Oh.
And
yeah.
they-
And
yeah.
they both died
Yeah,
season 2.
because
Early
they
on.
came up to kill Hank.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
That's way
Yeah.
too long ago, man.
Yeah.
Well, I bring it up because they're both on
Wrap this around,
on
Tom.
Cameo, and one of them. So you know what Cameo is? It's an app where famous
Yes,
people.
where you can pay famous people
Yeah,
to
and they'll
custom
say,
hey Tom, happy birthday.
Exactly.
Hope your birthday's DOOG
Nope,
from
nope,
Snoop.
nope.
They're both on
Learning
it.
things.
One of them charges an astronomical fee. The other one is dirt cheap. And the theory is that they're doing it to make the cheap one seem like a good deal. Like, oh, you should just do that and get it. And then they just split the work on it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's very capitalistic. You know?
I mean, when you're a twin, that's what you do. You know.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, sorry for that sidebar, but it was bizarre
It
to
was
say the least.
hilarious. Yeah. I mean, especially after a couple of cocktails too.
Yeah.
It
was, and so that's my main takeaway from this conference. I'll be thinking about that for days.
Yeah.
telling everybody.
Telling everybody, including you guys.
All right.
I mean, it's pretty random, right?
It is. That's a really weird thing to happen.
Yeah, and when we questioned the misidentified person, it'd be a lot easier if I just made up fake names than to talk about
X and double X.
Yeah. When we saw the twin that we didn't know, I said, "What made you come back into the restroom?" Right?
Yeah.
Were you there for that?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, you just kept shouting my name." And finally, the last time you did it really loud. I'm like, "I know," because I was like offended that you were clearly my friend, and you just weren't listening.
They're trying to tell you something, Sean.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, what did I do?
I think that'll wrap it for us on this episode. Everyone, thank you again so much for joining us. Remember to subscribe if you're not already. Rate us 5 stars if you're still listening. If not, get on to our YouTube channel and come see what it looks like here at the conference. Thumbs up on that video. Thank you, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.